For this next example, I have an integer times a fraction. I need to turn my integer into a fraction by making it 9 over 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to my signs. I have a positive number times a positive number, which means my answer is going to be positive. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my fraction bar. And I have a 9 on top, a 4 on top, a 1 on bottom, and a 15 on bottom. So I'm going to look to see if anything can simplify, whether that's directly on top and bottom, or if there's something cross top and bottom. So I can try to cross reduce as well. All right, so 9 and 1 can't simplify, 4 and 15 can't simplify. However, 9 and 15 are both divisible by 3. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify 9 over 15. So 9 divided by 3 is going to give me 3, and 15 divided by 3 is going to give me 5. So now I cross reduced 9 over 15 to be 3 over 5. And now I go back to my rules of multiplication, which means I multiply the tops. So 3 times 4 will give me 12, and 1 times 5 will give me 5. Once again, my answer is positive because I took a positive times a positive. Now that is the improper fraction 12 over 5, so I can keep it as the improper fraction, or I can turn that into the mixed number. 5 goes into 12 2 times without going over. 5 times 2 is 10, remainder of 2 to get to 12. So that would give me 2 and 2/5. For the next problem, I'm starting off with a mixed number times an improper fraction. So I need to turn my mixed number also into an improper fraction. So 2 times 4 will give me 14, plus 1 more will give me 15 over 7. So 2 and 1/7 is the same as 15 over 7. All right, now I have a positive times a positive, so I know my answer will also be positive. But now before I multiply, I'm going to try to simplify before I multiply. So 15 over 7 cannot reduce, 14 over 5 cannot reduce, but I can extend my fraction bar. And now I look at 15 over 5. That does reduce. 15 divided by 5, they're both divisible by 5. So 15 divided by 5 would leave me with 3, and 5 divided by 5 would leave me with 1. Not only were those able to reduce, but 14 over 7, both are divisible by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 14 divided by 7 would give me 2. So now the problems become a lot smaller. Now I'm just taking 3 times 2 to give me 6. And for the denominator, I'm taking 1 times 1 to give me 1. Now, 6 divided by 1, that does give me, we always simplify, so that's going to give me the integer value of 6. Dividing fractions is almost the same as multiplying fractions. However, you need to do one additional step first, and that is to use the reciprocal of the second fraction. All right, so that means that you are going to keep the first fraction the same. You're going to change from division to multiplication, and then you're going to flip the second fraction around. So instead of this being 4 over 5, I'm going to change this to 5 over 4. So now we have 7 over 15 times 5 over 4. We have a positive times a positive, so I know my answer is going to be positive. I look to extend my fraction bar. 7 over 15 can't reduce, 5 over 4 can't reduce, but 5 over 15 can reduce. They are both divisible by 5. So 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now we multiply the numerators, so 7 times 1 is 7, and we multiply the denominators. 3 times 4 gives us 12. Look to simplify any further. We can't, so the final answer would be 7 over 12. For this next example, we have negative 5 over 12 divided by 2/3. So we're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to change from division to multiplication. And we're going to flip the second fraction around. So instead of having 2/3, we're going to change this to 3 over 2. Now we have a negative number times a positive number. So we know this answer is going to be negative. Okay, now before I multiply, I'm going to simplify. All right, so 5 over 12 can't simplify, 3 over 2 can't simplify, but 3 over 12, those are both divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, 12 divided by 3 is 4. I already took care of my signs, so now I just need to focus on what is 5 times 1, which will give me 5, and what is 4 times 2, which is going to give me 8. So my final answer is negative 5 over 8. For my next example, I'm going to keep the first fraction the same, so I'm going to have negative 9 over 10. I'm going to change from division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip the second fraction around. So 6 right now is not a fraction, but I can make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. So now I need to flip it around. I'm going to change it to the reciprocal, so that's going to become 1 over 6. A negative times a positive is negative, and then I look to cross reduce. So 9 and 6 are both divisible by 3. So now that's going to give me 3 times 1 is 3, and 10 times 2 is 20.